Welcome back everyone, I hope you all doing good, having a great day. This is going to be my first meta builds for the Blood Knight. You can use these builds inside of the dungeon and the raid as well and do the maximum amount of damage. The damage that you're seeing on your screen right now is being done with 1200 resonance, and I will be diving into the builds in a sec with strength and weaknesses first, and then we will move to the free to play gems, pay to win gems, and the set items, and then we will go for the builds itself. There will be timeline for everything, so let's start. Alright, before I start here, please consider leaving a like on this video. It takes a lot of time going through all the tests and edit a build video like this. But let's dive into the builds right away. Extreme damage Inferno builds here. For the strength, we have a highest single target damage with these builds here. Then we have a really good crowd control. We have lots of buffs for ourselves and the party, and the builds will be good for all resonance, and it is very tanky. As for some weaknesses, we will be fighting close or mid range, lacks some mobility, not good for PvP, not good for open world farm. Next, we can go dive into free to play starter gems, and the gems that I will be recommending here is going to be Fervent Fang. Really good single target gem, works good versus the group 2. Mother Lemon to increase our critical hit chance. Pain Claps, this gem will be getting triggered with few of our skills, and other gems like the Everlasting here as well. Then we have the Abiding Curse. It will slow down the movement speed of monsters, attack speed, and will also curse them, and you will deal more damage to them. And then we have a Power and Command, really good gem, will work with the hybrid build that we have here, the primary and the skills. And then we are using the Garnet's Invigoration here. It will increase the attack speed for our primary and also our primary attack damage. And then we have the Berserker Eye, flat, give you some damage increase. And then we have the Everlasting, again it will give you that bleeding effect, and it will also give you that somewhat primary attack speed increase. And now let's dive into the pay to win best gems here. Starting with the Blood Soaked Jade, gives you movement speed, damage, Seeping Bile will poison them, enemies die, spread through the other enemies. Bottle Hope, it will give you the movement speed and the damage whenever it trigger. Gloom Cask will trigger excellent with the primary here. Starfire will do additional damage versus the single target like the bosses. Howler Call will work great with the primary as well. Blessing of the Worthy is going to be great because we have a lot of healing from the Siphon. You will never lose any HP. Most of the time you will stay at max HP even versus the raid bosses, and whenever Blessing of the Worthy will trigger, it will do some insane damage. And at the end, I would recommend the Mother Lemon to increase that critical chance of yours. So now the pay to win gems is out of the way. Next is going to be the Paragon Tree. We are using the Weaver, hands down the best Paragon Tree inside of the game. And next we have the set item. I would recommend going with 4 pieces Vitus here and 2 pieces Charles Bass. And now if you are wondering why I am recommending this and not Grace or the other set, let's go and dive into this test here. I ran this test versus the Destruction and Inferno 1 Bale fight towards the very end. He had 31 million HP. The first test was with the 4-piece Vitus and 2-piece Shalbas. I end up killing him in 1 minute 5 seconds, and then I end up using 4-piece Shalbas and 2 pieces of the Vitus. That took me 1 minute 6 seconds. Now that could be a margin of error. You can go either way with the first two, whatever you like better. For me, I was having more fun with instant attack speed increase of the 4-piece Vitus. And then I end up trying out the Grace, 4-piece Grace and 2-piece Vitus. That took me 1 minute 13 seconds, and overall the dungeon experience was very clunky and I did not like that. So that is why I would personally recommend 4-piece Vitus and 2-piece Shalbas, because we are running with a lot of buff skills. You can just keep on triggering the Vitus. If you don't like that, you can then go with 4-piece Shalbas and 2-piece Vitus. And now we are diving into the skills themselves. Starting with the primary, we are using the Shadow Edge, hands down the best primary that you can use for the Blood Knight. And we have one modifier here, Shadow Edge now mark enemy, causing them to erupt for 16,000 damage, and that 16,000 damage is being increased by 90%. So it will be doing some huge damages, especially with the mother lemon. And since we have a lot of attack speed, you can easily mark the enemy for time very fast, and it will end up killing them. The next skill is going to be the skewer. Here we have this skill as a buff and a crowd control. The first modifier that we are using is it will allow you to leap from the main hand, and it will also stun the enemies. Very useful versus the yellow and blue elites to crowd control. And the next modifier that we have here is from the offhand. This will increase your damage by 19%, and this is not the skewer damage but overall damage by 19% for 4 seconds, and that 4 seconds is going to be increased by the beneficial duration of the Virtus. So this is huge here. Whenever you use the skewer, you will have increased damage. And the next skill is going to be Siphon Blood. We are going to make this skill into a damage dealing skill. We can deal damage as we move, so we don't have to stop to cast the skill. First modifier is from the headpiece. Siphon Blood is no longer channeled and now moves with you, dealing damage, and it will also give you life, and that is very handy. It will keep you alive. And then we are adding another modifier here with this skill from a main hand. Whenever you deal damage to the enemy 3 times with the Siphon, they will hemorrhage, and that will deal 3,700 damage for me, and that damage is going to be increased by 90%. So we are using Siphon as a damage dealing skill. And then the next skill is going to be Sworn of Bass, really high damage dealing skill. This is one of the way we will be also triggering the pain claps. We can trigger the pain claps with this skill here. We can also trigger that with the everlasting. So we have few rotations that we can use to keep triggering that gem. So the first modifier is going to be from the shoulder piece. Sworn of Bass now engulf you in a cloud of bass, continually dealing damage, and it will move with you. Again, we don't have to stop for anything. We can just keep moving, hitting enemies. And the next modifier is from the pants. Sworn of Bass now also poison enemies, and this poison enemy damage is very high. It will also be increased by 90%. So huge damage skill here. And the last skill that we have here is going to be Shroud of Night, and we have one modifier for this, the chest, that is going to mark the enemy for you or from your allies. So it is going to be again really high damage dealing skill, especially in the raids. Your allies will also mark the bosses and you will deal insane damage. So these are the skills that we are using. And now let's go into the Reforge family bonuses here. This is going to be important. We are going with the primary attack damage increase, then we are going with the skill damage increase, then we are going with the critical damage increase. Beneficial duration is going to be huge, so don't slack on that, and also don't slack on the attack speed. We are spamming the primary, so the more attack speed you have, the more primary you will able to use, and you will mark the enemies faster, and that is going to deal some insane damage. I have around 14-15% attack speed from my gear pieces, and that is all. Please consider leaving a like on this video. It took me a lot of grind and testing, and I hope you enjoy this build, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later guys.